coming out and continuing your service. The fact that you're here, the fact that we've got some poll workers here really is encouraging, and I think it's important that we recognize, and I think we as veterans recognize uniquely what it means not just to serve, but what it means to serve as a representation of a cross-section of America. Because as we know, one of the most diverse spaces where we find folks is in our armed forces, and that's very important. I'll talk about that. And one of the things that I came to value most about my time in the United States Marine Corps was the camaraderie, the way that we felt like we were all in it together. We made sure that we were mission oriented to get the job done. And it wasn't like we were doing the job for ourselves. Lord knows we weren't doing it for the paycheck. But what we were doing it for was something far greater than ourselves. It was for everybody else. It was so that as a society, the United States of America could continue to be the most prosperous, the most powerful, and the best place for folks to raise a family, and the safest. And that's really something that I think is incredibly important. But again, going back to that notion, that value, that set of ideas was complemented by the diversity that we had in our Corps, in our units, in your Army units or Navy units, in all the different spaces we served in together. The notion of diversity is actually one of the things that I think is most important about this nation. When I speak to diversity, it's not just racial or ethnic or skin color or national origin or religion, if you have one. It's a diversity of ideas. It's that thing that makes this economy the strongest. It's the thing that makes us the most strong when it comes to our diplomatic power, our military power, the way that we've invented things. The diversity of ideas that we come together with as a society is critical to the fact that, and to the foundation of our advancement and our progress. But with a diversity of ideas comes a little bit of conflict once in a while. And we have to figure out how to resolve those conflicts. When it comes to our leadership and our policies, the way we work through our diversity is elections. We make a decision once every couple of years at the federal level and in different spaces at the state and local level. We make those decisions in a way that is peaceful, that is civilized, and that allows everyone to have their voice heard. Now, it wasn't including everyone for all time, but we have opened up that franchise. And we've brought in even more diversity into the notion that the power of one person, one vote does apply to all people. And that's what we, folks who have served in uniform, were a part of. And so whether it's our economic, our racial, our cultural, or any of our other diversities, this is how we were there to shape the world. And we have different ideas and different opinions, but at the end of the day or at the end of the exercise, we can still get together and have a beer. In the Marine Corps, we got in fights afterwards too, but it's a different thing. We celebrate, however, at some point, the freedoms that we share together. And we stand side by side whenever adversity strikes us, whether it's December 7th, 1941, or September 11th, 2001, or January 6th, 2021. We have seen moments where we kind of broke a little bit inside, and we thought, man, this is something beyond what we should have, and we've got to come and help. And we felt that call. So many of us felt that call. What makes our democracy work is us, as individuals, coming together in those units, coming together to solve those missions, pushing aside those things that might divide us for the common mission. Our democracy needs us now, but not carrying rifles or firing cannons. Our democracy needs us now to be a peaceful handout and a peaceful hand up to our fellow citizens. And that's what Vet the Vote is all about. It's about getting veterans into the game on this side of things. It's about making sure that we are doing what we can to continue to make democracy work. But again, this time, it's not with bullets, it's with ballots. And that's the clear difference now. But like any other meaningful relationship in your life, it takes work, it takes nurturing to sustain it. And this is the relationship we have with our government. Democracy is not a spectator sport. You have to participate, but we have to participate beyond just voting and being the informed citizens. We have to be the ones that go out there and bring our fellow veterans in so that those voters, the rest of the citizenry, can continue to feel protected by us, can continue to have these systems that they believe in moving forward, and that's because of our hard work. It is worth it. Now, I'm not blind to the fact that so many of the differences in this country have moved to divide us a little bit, one American from another. There are significant points of tension out there, but it doesn't really have to be that way. What we can do is look to the bigger ideals. Look past the politics like so many people have. I look to, a question I got when I walked in here. My successor in office at the Maricopa County Recorder's Office, he suffered the same political fate that I recently suffered at his hand 4 years ago. Bottom line is this: in those 4 years, he and I haven't just become solid work colleagues, but we became friends. We were political rivals for a moment, and then we were strong partners serving in office. And that's the example I think that we can continue to set, and that we can all set, regardless of our political affiliation, if we have one, into the spaces where our democracy needs us. And so I ask veterans across the state of Arizona, soldiers, airmen, sailors, Marines, Guardians, you serve now, and you know that you have served with. Ask those folks out there if they'd be willing to take that next step. Because right now, during the month of August, and starting today on August 1st, it is poll worker recruitment month. And to that end, I'm going to be reading the language from the proclamation that I will be issuing. But it's also up to us to go out and recruit. And I don't know how many of you were on recruiting duty. I never was. But use those skills to get out there and help us protect our democracy. The examples that we set, each one of us, exemplify the ideal values our founders laid out for us. It is courage, it is selflessness, and it is honor. These are just a few of the qualities that define us as veterans and should define us as we go out and vet the vote. We have to ask all fellow veterans to exercise these values and continue their service, because poll workers serve as that critical part to ensure that we have safe, fair, and free elections in our country. Poll workers are the ones who stand as marshal to make sure that everything in the process is orderly. They stand as election judges or inspectors. There are many jobs and many different titles in those polling places, but each one of them is critical to the voter's experience. And when voters have good experiences, we have rebuilt faith in our democracy, in each other as Americans. You only got to look 2 days ago to a primary election across the entire state of Arizona. People feel better now because there were no incidences. And why were there no incidences? Because of our poll workers. Because those folks who were out there enduring those 13, 14, 15, 16-hour days, and I know y'all have been there once or twice in your careers in the military. We all have. But those are the days that we need you to come back to. And the pay is equally crappy, but the service is great. We'll just leave it at that. So right now, what I'm going to do, I don't know which one is that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead now at this time, and I'm going to issue the official proclamation by myself, Secretary of State of Arizona. And here I will go ahead and do the reading of the proclamation. Who's going to receive this for the organization? Come on. Yeah, come on. All right. So this is an official proclamation by the Secretary of State. Whereas the foundation of our democracy is rooted in free and fair elections, ensuring that every eligible citizen has the opportunity to cast their vote and have it accurately counted. And whereas poll workers play a crucial role in ensuring that elections are conducted smoothly, fairly, and transparently, providing vital support to voters and elections officials. And whereas the recruitment of a diverse group of poll workers is essential to reflect the state and ensure that all polling locations are fully staffed, providing the necessary support to handle the complexities of modern elections. And whereas the nonprofit organization Vet the Vote has helped to fill critical shortages by recruiting over 7,000 veterans and military family members to serve as poll workers in Arizona, which demonstrates their continued dedication to public service and civic duty. And whereas National Poll Worker Recruitment Day established by the U.S. Elections Assistance Commission, serves as a critical opportunity day to raise awareness about the importance of serving as a poll worker, encourage civic participation, and ensure robust staffing for upcoming elections in Arizona and across the nation. And whereas the involvement of Arizonans in the election process as poll workers fosters a sense of community, civic responsibility, and strengthens our democracy by ensuring elections are accessible, inclusive, and fair for all, recognizing that poll workers are our community members, neighbors, and friends. And therefore, I, Adrian Fontes, do hereby proclaim today, August 1st, 2024, as National Poll Worker Recruitment Day here in Arizona. In witness whereof I set my hand and the great seal of the state of Arizona done in Phoenix, today, August 1st, 2024. So let's go out and recruit some poll workers. As follows, because it's poll worker recruiting, and we have a heck of a lot of ballot by mail in Arizona. We also have a lot of veterans and a lot of other community members who cannot leave and for whatever other disability cannot vote by mail. And I know we've got someone from Maricopa County in here somewhere. Where's my Maricopa County? Oh, there you are, right there. Maricopa County to help talk about this. In Arizona, every county has what's called special election boards. And I know that we've got an organization here that helps veterans make it to the VA on time. Perhaps we can get them to be recruited and trained by Maricopa County to help assist those veterans who may be homebound in filling out their ballots, get y'all qualified up. We've got bipartisan teams to do that. Perhaps I think that'd be a great resource. So if we can only make that connection today, then we've done a successful thing. So thank you very much, everybody, and let's get out there and recruit a lot of poll workers. Thank you.